Hey, I'm Corwin, and today we're going to put a new carburetor on the Cadillac. So I'll be the first one to tell you I'm not a genius when it comes to carburetors. I spent a lot of years working on motorcycles, and those are a whole nother beast. So I have a suspicion that because this carb sat for however long it sat, 4 or 5 years, with bad gas in it, and since it's a Holley style carburetor, it's full of O-rings and rubber and that sort of stuff. So I have a sneaking suspicion that the idle circuit is not free and clear, which I gave it a go, but like I said, I'm not an expert. So in order to alleviate the problem, the best and the fastest way I know how, I got this. This is in fact very similar to the carburetor that's on the car. It's just a Summit Holley style. The one that's on the car right now is actually a 600. Ooh. I feel a breeze. It smells fresh. This one is a 750. That's actually what the motor was dynoed with, was a Holley 750. So it's probably not necessary for the applications in which I'm running it, but bigger is better, right? Vacuum secondary, electric choke, just like what's on there now. Sights are clear. It's not a plug, which is also nice. And then plenty of vacuum ports to run everything necessary. It also comes with a fuel rail. I don't need it because I did all that work already on the fuel system. So let's throw it on. All right, first thing we gotta do, get this guy off. Oh shit. Admittedly, this is a little dramatic. You can see this is the old one here, and there's just dirty. If you look down in there, it's just crudded up. Whereas look at how bright and shiny this guy is. Ultimately, they're kind of the same. There's really not much of a difference, except obviously this one's a 750 and it's 8 years newer, maybe. So nothing crazy. The biggest issue is that this spacer is covered in gasket maker. So I'm going to scrape this off, and then I got some new gaskets, and we'll throw this bad boy on the car. Alright, well, the battery's about to die on this camera, and I'm about to die in this garage. Started up fantastic, but now the throttle is sticking. I thought it was the air cleaner, but it's not. It's the damn pedal. For whatever reason, this piece of plastic that sits on the back of the pedal and the throttle rod actually, slides on this, just decided to pop off. And so it was hitting this rubber and just not wanting to go anywhere, which is cool. And then it started desealing again. It's like, I fixed the timing. Swapping out the carburetor shouldn't have anything to do with it. So now I'm wondering if, I don't know. admittedly, I'm not in a very good mood. I just feel like something is still wrong with the timing. It only shows the mark at if I advance the dial on the back to 60 degrees, which that's just not right. So I'm gonna do the long form timing check and make sure the distributor is lined up appropriately with top dead center on number 1. I don't want to, because I have a feeling I'll screw it up potentially worse than it already is, but I don't know what else to do. Just for peace of mind, I feel like it's just the logical next step. So okay, I've got the distributor cap off, all the spark plug wires out. I took the valve cover off. Everything in here actually looks pretty good. And then I've got the number 1 spark plug out. So what I need to do now is rotate the motor until I get top dead center on the number 1 cylinder. How am I going to do that? Well, they make a couple of tools that will help you with that, none of which I have. So I am going to use my finger and feel for the compression stroke, and then before I do anything crazy, I'm just going to check and see where the mark is on the balancer and see if that's right. So the reason why I pulled the valve cover is because on the compression stroke, both of these valves should be closed. Maybe a little bit of overkill, but again, everything I do on this car, I only ever want to have to do once. Can you help me real quick?
Oh, yeah.
Just hold this in here. See this little guy? Just want you to hold that.
Can't.
And tell me when you feel it.
Your hand right now.
Yeah. Okay, guys. I'm gonna go slow. When you feel the piston touch it, let me know.
I don't know what that means.
You'll feel it.
That's what she said.
Oh!
Right there?
Yep.
Okay. So pull it out just a little. We don't want it to get jammed up.
That's what she said.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go really slow and tell me when it starts to go back down. Okay?
Okay. I don't.
That's what she said.
It'll keep coming up, and then it'll pause, and then it'll go back down.
That's what she said.
Okay, it's kind of moving.
Okay. Okay, thanks to the help of my wonderful wife, I have discovered 2 things. 1, look at that. It is really close. So I'm guessing that that mark is right. So I can trust that. Because I told her to tell me when it's just started moving, so that's like 10 degrees after. Okay, and this guy here is also right. Now it's not right in the traditional sense because typically number 1 is here, but it is pointing at where the number 1 cylinder was. So all of that is in fact correct. So what the f am I supposed to do now? Well, okay, so now I know for a fact that the timing is absolutely perfect, right? So I'm gonna put the timing light back on this thing, and then I'll know for sure what's the problem. I realized, thanks to my favorite critics, I never showed last time how to use this timing light, so let me show you real quick, and then we'll fire it up and take a look at what it's showing. Okay, so pretty easy. Clip negative, clip positive, and then those go into the back of the gun. And then what you do is you slide this, I don't know, transducer over the number 1 plug wire. And then when I squeeze this trigger, it will flash every time the spark plug flashes down on the balancer, and I should be able to read the timing mark. Now this one is a little tricky because it's got an advance on the back of it. This is what I want to avoid. So if I roll this back with one hand to 0, it should show exactly the 12 degrees that I just mechanically advanced. This is really good if you don't have any marks on your balancer like I don't, but I know for a fact that I just set it up for 12 degrees. So, all right, here we go. I don't know if that'll catch it, but Okay, well, almost just had to bust out the fire extinguisher. Couldn't figure out why the idle kept going up, and it's because I had left this wire for the choke laying across the headers, and it caught on fire. Okay, now I'm kind of at a loss. Timing light is reading perfect. Everything should be fine, but now it's dieseling really bad and sputtering and kicking back. I just got a backfire out of the carburetor, so when the key was off. So I'm gonna do some more research, see what I can't dig up. Even when I do everything right, it's still fucked up. So I don't know, it just blows my mind. Okay, so last night I took what I would consider to be a mental health break. I was not in a very good mood last night. So, what are we gonna do now? I did a lot of research. I'm going to do a couple of things. One, I think the throttle linkage may need to be adjusted, and it's holding it open, okay, throttle linkage, I'm gonna check and make sure it's fully closing, because I did have to do a little adjusting when I put on the new carburetor. Two, I'm gonna check for a vacuum leak. I got some more carburetor cleaner. Just check and make sure I've got it cinched down tight enough and everything's cool. And then lastly, I got some seafoam. So we'll see how that goes. I wish I would have been filming because I just caught a huge fireball back out through the carburetor right into my face. You can see I got all these curly cues. I guess I need to look that up. That's the opposite of what I'm trying to do.